once again, JB here with an update on what's been going on recently and what's been happening as well in the last few days in the world of football since I was last with you a week last Wednesday when we did the commentary of the Accrington Burnley game, which I've just about calmed down from the disaster of that one. Really disappointing. Anyway, you'll be wondering why I've not been around on YouTube all weekend. Well, there's a few reasons as to why. Anybody who doesn't see this actually live, then you'll be able to hear what I'm saying now. But what I will say is I've got one or two issues within the family. I've got an uncle that's not too good. I've been a bit under weather myself, so I spent the day trying to sort myself out. Sunday, I ended up doing a bit of DIY on the outside. I got given a front gate, so I helped install that on the back of my backyard. So I've been busy, and then obviously yesterday I've just been here, there, and everywhere, and well, here I am today, getting a little bit of time off, and really getting a bit of time. And also Burnley lost against Chelsea and were hopelessly outclassed as well, which doesn't help. But I will be back commentating later on this weekend with England, as we commentate for the first time on those Euro flops since that flop against Iceland. My goodness me, what a night that was! And if people realise oh God, let's start with the England. Let's start with the England squad that Allardyce has picked. I'm going to go right through. This is with the squad they've picked. I'm just going to find the squad now for us to go through. Wayne Rooney, by the way, still unbelievably the captain of of Allardyce's side. Here is the full squad to take on Slovakia. It's only one game. It's been played at 5 o'clock our time. You hear it live on my YouTube channel. Our first England international of the season. Why we're bothering, I don't know, but we are. I think most of us are all England fans. We want to see the team do well, but let's be honest, I'd rather have had the Premier League. I don't know how you guys think, but I'd rather have had Premier League back. Well, these are the three goalkeepers: Fraser Forster of Southampton, Joe Hart now of Manchester City, could be with Torino because he's apparently signing a loan deal in Italy there in Turin. And Burnley's own Tom Heaton. Well, he's had a good start to the season, clean sheet in one of his 3 games so far. He's made some great saves. He made some terrific saves against Chelsea on Saturday. Really was of the highest calibre. The defenders are Gary Cahill of Chelsea, Nathaniel Klein of Liverpool. Surprised he's in it actually. Jagielka, Danny Rose, Luke Shaw back in the squad after almost 18 months out. For the first time in 15 months or something, because he had a long-term injury for the last 12 months, so he's back in. Chris Smalling and John Stones and Kyle Walker. Still not convinced about Chris Smalling, but there you go. Now the interesting bit is the midfielders. Dele Alli, Mikel Antonio, first time in the squad. Allardyce has picked him. He's been in decent form for West Ham. Scored the first goal there the other week against Bournemouth at the new Olympic Stadium. Eric Dyer, Danny Drinkwater back in the team. He should have been picked for the Euros in my opinion. Allardyce at least has had the sense to sort of to bring him back in. Jordan Henderson, Adam Lallana, both about okay starts. Wayne Rooney. And here's another. These last two really get right up my goat. Raheem Sterling, the most overrated idiot I've ever seen put on an England shirt. He showed no pride, no passion, was very greedy in the Euros, and still he gets an England berth. Why? I do not know. I think there are better players out there than Raheem Sterling, I reckon, if Allardyce actually bothers looking hard enough. And then he decides in his own wisdom to bring that Phil Phil Walcott, for God's sake, he's not done much in an England shed either in the last 7 or 8 years since that hat-trick he got against what was it now? Against Croatia, that was it. Couldn't think of the team then. In those World Cup qualifiers. But that was in 2009. 2008-9. Really baffling selection. And Mooney apparently is in the midfield section. He's only bothered with 3 strikers. Harry Kane, expect that. Hopefully he's not taking corners like he did in the Euros. Jamie Vardy, up and running now for Leicester this season. And another baffling selection, Daniel Sturridge. Are you kidding me? Daniel Sturridge? The guy's not done enough in the opening games of the season. He looks absolutely out of ideas against Burnley. The only game he's done well in, it was against Burton. And with all due respect to Burton, they're inferior opposition to what Liverpool were out there, and he came on as a substitute. The guy's not good enough. He's out of form. He's always injured. Why has Allardyce decided on him and not given an opportunity to possibly Marcus Rashford, who's started scoring goals? Why would Daniel Sturridge go in the England team? It's an absolute disgrace. Are we short of decent strikers out there? I'd honestly think, I thought he might have looked at Andre Gray, perhaps. I know he's had all the trouble with the tweets and that, but his footballing ability, he's scored more goals than Sturridge has this season. Why has he not been looked at as a possible coming in? It looks to me, apart from Antonio and Drinkwater, it's the same goddamn flops as in the Euros. And, well, make up your own minds when you're listening in, because quite frankly that England side is what it is. And to be honest with you, we're away from home, Slovakia, we're in Tirana or whatever it is, the City Arena there. And I'll bring you live commentary of it, because I'm sure that'll be. But at least Jack Wilshere isn't anywhere near the squad. But he looks a familiar sight, you know, the midfielders and the strikers and the defenders. It's almost the same as Roy Hodgson. You know, shades of Roy Hodgson there. It's almost his influence in Allardyce in some spooky way, I suppose. But anyway, that's the England side. We'll bring you full match comms of that. Kick-offs at 5 o'clock, so we'll be on the air about 10 to 5 for Sunday afternoon to bring you the first World Cup qualifier of the campaign for England. First game of Sam Allardyce. There was a possibility of playing a Thursday night friendly, but Allardyce decided against it, and quite rightly so. Anyway, let's review some football now. First of all, as I say, apologies for not having any commentaries last week. As I said, I was very busy. I was elsewhere, 1 or 2 family things, and I had to do a bit of DIY and do this and do that a bit and the other. We're going to start with Burnley, and I managed to watch them against Chelsea. Hope was 2 words spring to mind from that match: hopelessly and outclassed. Shows how we've got a lack of quality, as it was proven against Accrington Stanley. Okay, the referee was a bit of an idiot that night at the Wham Stadium, but and I'm still angry at Tony Harrington for that. But what was evident in that particular game was our lack of squad depth, because he made 10 changes. He reverted back to the team that beat Liverpool the week before. We had only 20% possession, and we were just outclassed. Hazard scored a terrific first goal after 9 minutes. Then Willian, just before the break, smashed in a good second goal for them. And, you know, we had a 10-minute spell. Scott Arfield had half a chance. Apart from that, really, we didn't threaten Thibaut Courtois, which was bitterly disappointed. And then to add insult to injury, Victor Moses scores his first goal in 4 years for Chelsea and makes the score. And I mean, if it wasn't for Tom Heaton, the score could have been a cricket score. It could have been anything up to 9 or 10-0. And people might think, well, is JB exaggerating a bit? No, he isn't. And that is what we're up against week in, week out. Obviously, we're not going to go to Chelsea every week and, I know we kept on working hard, but there's no quality there. And this leads me back to the rant I made 2 weeks ago about our unambitious penny-pinching chairman. One day after that rant, they signed Stefan Defoe for £7.5 million. They've signed Patrick Bamford, I believe, today. That news gone through, but we are badly lacking in midfielders. And if you want to contribute a message to the live stream, you can do. If you've missed the live stream, you can let me know in the comments below. Panini says hello. Well, he's got in touch and said hello. I think, going back to the Burnley issue, we badly need central midfielders. We've lost David Jones. Okay, we've had Stefan Defoe in. Marnie went off with some kind of injury on Saturday, and James Tarkowski had to fill in midfield. Now, we've got about we've just got something like I think we've got less than 48 hours before the window closes. I think we're something like in the region of about 35 hours to go before the transfer window closes. Oh, by the way, you'll be able to listen live to the last couple of hours of deadline day tomorrow evening on my YouTube channel. I'll be on about 10:30 tomorrow evening or something, and we'll be with you for the. Obviously, I can't do the Jim White stuff and stay up until and continually broadcast for 12 hours. It just wouldn't be right. So probably spend a good hour tomorrow night going in the latter stages of the window and going through what deals needs to be done. I'll tell you what Burnley need to get. I need 2 central midfielders, and I think they need a couple of wingers. They've signed Bamford. Our strike force is fine. We've got Gray, Vokes, Bamford, Barnes to come back. He's not far away. I think we've got 4 capable strikers now. I think we need possibly another centre half, maybe. We definitely need two central midfielders. I don't know the diagnosis of Dean Marnie. The football club have been rather quiet about it since Saturday, really. How I know is they've not really uploaded any update videos or anything like that. I know they've signed Bamford. He'll be a good player for us. I think he's a lot of good player for us on loan. I know Chelsea think the world of him, so let's hope he turns out to be a good signing for us. But seriously now, the Dale Stephens thing is getting beyond a joke now. I think we've had about 5 bids now rejected this summer alone from Brighton. The latest was £7.5 million. Now we could have had, and here is my beef with the board. If we'd have been a bit braver and actually tried to spend a few quid, we could have got somebody like Nasser Chadli in. Nasser Chadli, what a player he could be for a club like Burnley. Him and Defoe in that centre of midfield, I think they could have been a really good partnership. And I reckon they could have given the likes of Graham Vokes the rainbow of service to go out there and score lots of goals. And as a result, he's gone to West Brom. 13 million. Well, how was it to stump up an extra 5 or 6 million? I know we're Burnley, and I know we're not Barcelona. I know we've got to be realistic, but be ambitious, Chairman. I said it 2 weeks ago. I ranted about it 2 weeks ago. Kilby, Flood, Benaskovic, and Garlic, especially Mike Garlic. I told you 2 weeks ago. Go out and spend money. It's all right spending £7.5 million on one top quality player, but we need several. As it was highlighted at Accrington last week, the strength in depth is absolutely pathetic, and it's got to be said, it's a disgrace. So I'm going to repeat what I said 2 weeks ago. Are you listening, Flood? Are you listening, Holt? Are you listening, Banaskovic? Are you listening, Kilby? And more certainly, are you listening, Garlic? Get your checkbook out. Go and spend some money. Get Sean Dyche the players he needs to give us the best possible opportunity of staying up. Otherwise, just sign the death warrant to the Championship. Because that is just, all you're interested in, all five of you, is who can get to the champagne bar quickest. That's all you're interested in. Make no mistake. Burnley and the board, I feel sorry for Dyche. He's made a list of targets and, not many of them have come off for him, and it's down to the board. We should never have let Frank McPartland go to Rangers. That was the board's biggest failure out of all this. Moving on, I've said enough. I've said my piece on Burnley, so we'll move on now. Other games: Manchester City 3, West Ham 1. Should Sergio Aguero have been sent off in that game? He was a naughty boy. I mean, City deserved their win. There were 2 goals for Raheem Sterling. West Ham, bit of hangover after their Europa League exit on Thursday to the same team that knocked them out last year as well. But should Aguero have gone off for another elbow? He threw an elbow into Winston Reid's face, and the referee, he wasn't 5 yards away, failed to spot it. Hopefully the evidence will be played in front of an FA committee, and hopefully he'll get a 3-match ban. I think he should be banned for the Manchester derby. There's no doubt about that. It's just took the shine up a great win for Guardiola's team. Guardiola's style of football is very, very attractive, and I'm sure he doesn't want thugs like that. I mean, Sergio Aguero is a great player, a terrific player. Great. He's probably, he's overshadowed a bit by the brilliance of Lionel Messi. And Lionel Messi, let's put it this way, is a genius. But he's also a real vital cog in that Argentinian side, and I think he gets overlooked a bit just because of the genius of Messi. He's a terrific player, but that elbow, I think the FA have to take strong action and punish him, and he gets my villain of the week. Actually, I'm starting a new little feature. That's the villain of the week, and he's the first winner of that as well. And well, what can we say about that? Arsenal, well, pressure was on Wenger. He's made a couple of signings though. So he's starting to get things right. He's signing that Mustafi, I believe, for 35 million, and he signed a striker as well. I can't forget who it was. But that was a tough old match they had to try and win against Watford, and they won it quite easily. They were 3 up at half time, and they got a penalty, which was really stupid from Watford's point of view to concede. Akbabaki elbow one of the Arsenal players, and I mean, Arsenal were good value for their victory, 3-1. It was pretty comprehensive, I have to say. But I mean, that's the way of the world. I mean, let's go through that. So Watford won, Arsenal 3. So Cazorla put them ahead for a penalty. Then Sanchez made it 2, and Mesut Ozil made it 3. The Sanchez goal was an interesting one because the ball just about crossed the line. Goal line technology, proving its worth, taking the controversy out of certainly the Premier League. Decision made on the spot. No one arguing, no one appealing it. Good to see. And as the replay quite clearly stated, the ball definitely crossed the line. Ozil made it 3. Watford made a bit of a fight of it in the second half, but that foul from Akbabaki on Sanchez really cost Watford, I believe, and I think Walter Mazzarani now he's under a lot of pressure, I have to say. His team now are third bottom, along with Bournemouth and Stoke, who are both going to touch on in a minute or two. In the midday game, it ended 1-1 between Spurs and Liverpool. Some real talking points down at White Hart Lane on Saturday afternoon. None more so than a penalty that was given to Liverpool Was there a foul on Coutinho by Lamela? Well, replay seemed to suggest that he just touched him inside the area, and even despite the fact that Coutinho actually tripped over himself afterwards, Bobby Madley was right on the spot, and in my opinion got that one spot on. Liverpool took the lead from that penalty. James Milner scoring his first of the season. Then they had a goal ruled out in the second half when it was 1-0 to them. Sadio Mane had been judged offside, or it looked as if, although another player was in front of the defenders as the ball was played in. So that can only be the explanation why the goal was disallowed. And then Spurs got level. Danny Rose, he came in at the far post, brought down the cross from Eric Dyer, and he smashed it in low past Mignolet. And I have to say, a point is probably an unfair result, considering Liverpool had the better of the possession and the better of the chances. But give Spurs credit, they didn't. Pochettino's sides never give in, and again it proved its worth there. They dug in and got themselves a draw, which they probably on balance probably barely deserved. Just had a Panini has a different view of it. He says goals were offside, poor from the linesmen. Okay, well we'll take his point of view of that. Thank you for correcting me there. The champions. We're going to touch on we'll touch on the champions list in a minute. Well, we'll go to the late game at the KC Stadium, or what they call the KCOM Stadium. Well, I don't know. It's Kingston. It's the KC Stadium, as far as I'm concerned. And a late victory, a late show from Manchester United. It was a difficult game to actually take in because. Oh, God. Oh, hello there. Sorry about that. We just lost sound there for a minute or two. I do apologise. Technical problems do obviously come up. So apologies for that. As I was saying, Hull 0, Manchester United 1. That was the final score on Saturday. Marcus Rashford came on after about half an hour. When it looked as if Hull were going to get a point, David Marler missed a sitter towards the end. And on came Marcus Rashford and he stabbed in, and disappointment there for Hull because they were welling with a shout of pinching what would have been a point. But Manchester United keep up their 100% record along with Chelsea. So they've won 3 out of 3 and now lie second. We're now going to touch on the champions, Leicester City. And they beat Swansea 2-1, and it was good for them to get off the mark really, because their first match they were a bit lacklustre forward against Hull in their first game, and then in the second match against Arsenal it was one of those disappointing 0-0 draws. But on Saturday they pulled up a very good performance and beat Swansea 2-1, and it was a game that Leicester dominated for large periods. They took the lead through Jamie Vardy, a typical Leicester goal. Drinkwater playing the ball over the top, and then he just hit the shot in off the post. It was a fantastic goal, really typical Leicester goal, really, and it put them in front. And then Wes Morgan in the second half made it 2-0 from a corner where he volleyed it in. And then they had a penalty, and Riyad Mahrez. Now I don't know what's going on with Mahrez. I wonder if people in the comment section would like to maybe help me out here. But Mahrez had a penalty save. Now, has his head been turned by all this speculation about Arsenal and 1 or 2 other teams? There was talk about Barcelona being in for him. I don't know what's going on there with Mahrez. Anyway, it was saved, and then Orazaki had his follow-up saved. Leroy Fer made it 2-1 in really difficult conditions by then, and it was a very, very, very tense ending, but Leicester got through in the end and won by 2-1, and now they move up to ninth in the table. Southampton, Sunderland ended 1 each. Tough afternoon there for Southampton. They trailed to Defoe's goal in the 80th minute. It looked like being the winner in what was a lacklustre game at St Mary's. But then Jay Rodriguez, the ex-Burnley legend, came off with a goal 5 minutes later, and that ended 1-1. Same scoreline at Selhurst Park between Crystal Palace and Bournemouth. They're now both off the mark. Pressure was on Pardew. King had put Bournemouth ahead after 11 minutes, and it looked as if Bournemouth were going to hang on and get the 3 points, but Scott Dan, after all that Palace pressure, got the pressure, and the pressure finally told 3 minutes into time added on when he bundled in an equaliser and got Palace out of jail in that one. And to end the Saturday action, 2 more games to bring you up to date with. Everton 1, Stoke 0, a penalty in that one. A penalty over in that one decided it. Big Sam Allardyce was watching there, and it was when Ashley Williams was tripped in the area, but Everton before that had efforts from Williams and Romelu Lukaku cleared off the line. Well, they got a penalty. Williams was tripped by Barsley in the penalty area. Leighton Baines took the kick. Shea Given then pushed Leighton Baines' spot kick onto the post, and then it sort of rebounded off the back of his head, and unfortunately for Shea Given, it went in the back of the net. Arnautovic hit the crossbar, but Everton took the victory by 1-0, and things looking a little bit bleak for Stoke. Just 1 point from their first 3 games. Really tough times ahead for them. And finally, a game to forget on Sunday for West Brom and Middlesbrough fans, although Middlesbrough fans understandably would be very, very happy of the 2 outfits. They got a point at the Hawthorns. It was one of those dire 0-0s we need not speak about. Anyway, let's look at the table as it stands now. I'm going to go from the top downwards. At the top, Chelsea and Manchester United both lead the way. Chelsea actually leading by virtue of the fact they're on alphabetical order. Both have the same goal difference and the same points. Everton then are third with 7 points. Then come two teams with 6 points. Manchester City in 4th and Hull in 5th. Spurs are then next in 6th place with 5, and then a cluster of teams on 4. Arsenal was 7th, Middlesbrough then behind them in 8th, Leicester the champions are 9th, and Liverpool are in 10th with the worst goal difference out of the cluster of the quartet there. And then a bundle of clubs on 3. That includes West Brom in 11th, West Ham in 12th, the Clarets in 13th, so we're not altogether a bad start, and Swansea down below us in 14th. Southampton 15th with just the 2 points, no wins. Sunderland 16th with 1 point. Palace out the drop zone with 1 point. Sunderland and Palace out of the drop zone on goal difference, by the way. They've got a -2. Watford are 18th with 1 point and a -3 goal difference. Same applies to Bournemouth, and Stoke are bottom because they have a -4 goal difference, but they also have 1 point. That brings you up to date with all that. Now, just a couple of events to remind you before I leave you today. Transfer deadline day tomorrow evening. Whatever happens, I'll be across it. Last hour of the window. I can't physically do it all tomorrow, unfortunately. I just haven't got the capacity. But we'll have a look at the last hour of the window, and then we'll comment, and it'll be a live debate, of course. So you'll all be invited to join me tomorrow night, wherever you are, for the final hour of deadline day, and I'll tell you all the deals that's happening. So if you're like Kevin Benson, a Crystal Palace fan, for example, if there's any signings that Palace makes, I'll bring them straight to Kevin, and I'll make sure Kevin gets to know about them. If there's any deals done in the Premier League, Football League, or all over Europe, I'll be trying to get across to him as best I can, and any breaking news that comes in, we'll let you know. And if Burnley don't sign anything, prepare for a big rant at the end. And also on Sunday, we turn our attention to our first international live commentary of the football season, as we look at Sam Allardyce's first England match. As I said earlier, they take on Slovakia away from home. Kick-offs at 5 o'clock. I'll be on air about 4:45, 10 to 5 on Sunday afternoon to bring you full commentary of that World Cup qualifier over there. So plenty to look forward to, and then we'll be back with Premier League the week afterwards, thank God. I feel as if we've been forced into these international breaks free for 4 years, and you get right into the league games and the league programmes and the domestic cup competitions, and after 3 weeks you got an international break. It's a bit of a gripe for me, to be honest with you, but there we are. It's got to be done, I'm afraid. I'm not a fan of it, but there you go. Anyway, thank you for listening in to the video. If you watched it, listened to it live, apologies about the sound problems halfway through. Just one of those things that just couldn't be helped. But if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, please don't forget to leave a like of what I've said. Please comment in the comments below. If you want to leave me a tweet, my address is at Stutzy83, so that's the Twitter address. And that's it, really. All I'll say to you is join me tomorrow evening for the climax of transfer deadline, and I'll be around. I'll be live on Sunday for the England game. Until then, have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow for the transfer deadline. For me, JB, take care. Ta-ra.